want to know how you feel about it. Is it true that, you know, the loyal person stays single till they healed and the other person, you know what I mean, moves on faster? How you feel about that?
Well, I don't think, maybe loyal isn't the right word, but I think definitely it's easier for the person who terminated or ended the relationship to move on. So they can move on a lot faster than the person who got dumped.
Exactly. That's just like I said. The whole post was just from the perspective of the person who got dumped, because they felt like, well, again, you know, I got cheated, or you know, you never had, you know, you never in it all the way like I was, and you wasn't in 100%, whatever the case may be. But it's all simply because they hurt. And these people, you know, putting, you know, comments in the box like, yeah, that's true, and you know, that's how it always is, and da da da. I'm like, man, what? Like, what?
And a lot of times, what the person that when you get dumped, or someone, that just sounds so bad, you get dumped, but that's really what's happening.
Exactly. I mean, you got to keep it real.
Yeah, you know, when you're getting dumped, or you're the person being dumped, and you're those people often spend a lot of time reflecting on the relationship, right? Having regrets. I could have done this differently. What if I would have done this?
Yeah. What if I'd have been with somebody else?
Yeah, and then everything they think about with that relationship tends to dwell on the positive. It's like when people. This is a good analogy for this. When you might know someone who was a real jerk, right? And then they die. Right. And you go to the funeral and all you hear, everyone getting up going, oh, he was the greatest guy ever. He was a great dad.
Yeah,
he was meanwhile he had,
still owe me money.
Exactly, right? So when you have that kind of sudden breakup like that, especially when you're on the receiving end of it, you start thinking about, oh man, you know, the sex was really good, and man, she used to cook really breakfast in bed, and you start thinking about all those good things, but you don't remember all the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You don't remember waking up in the middle of the night, she's standing over you with a knife, you know.
Or
you don't remember all that stuff, right?
Man, yeah.
So that tends to happen, and that just prolongs the process and makes it more and more difficult for that person to get over. So yeah, they do remain entangled emotionally longer than the person who terminates a relationship. And women, I've seen a few studies that have looked at this. I have never done one myself. I've done some research. Most of my research is focused on the sexual behaviors and the cognitive processes that drive those sexual behaviors in African American males.
Okay.
But women tend to have someone already in mind that they're going to move on to when they terminate a relationship. They generally,
studies say that.
they generally don't terminate a relationship and then go, okay, now I got to go find a new guy. They usually have a transition dude in there somewhere.
And the studies say that, y'all. Now, yeah. So hey, I'm gonna holler at my wife now, ask her who she dealing with, who she got in place to replace a G. But yeah, man. So hey, like I mentioned earlier, you are an author, right? So you know, your book, tell everybody about your book. I wanted to talk about why you wrote it, kind of some of the things that you wanted to accomplish with your book, and what you want readers to get out of it, man. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so my book is entitled Love Won't Let Me Wait, and it's a urban romance. It's getting great 5-star reviews on Amazon, which is good.
That's terrific. Wish you would have brought it by, you know.
Yeah, you know what?
I
normally have it in my backpack, and I didn't have it in my backpack, so
good,
yeah.
But Love Won't Let Me Wait.
Love Won't Let Me Wait, just like the Luther Vandross song. And like I said, it's getting great reviews. It's I've had none but just the best feedback from the people who've read it and have contacted me to let me know their feelings and request that I do a sequel.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm still debating whether or not I want to do. But the process behind me writing it was, I've always been a creative type of guy. I used to write little short stories just for my own little, just to have an outlet. Never really shared it with anyone like that. And then, I used to do little raps and stuff like that. Never performed any raps.
Okay,
I just write them.
Dr. Rob might see on YouTube.
I used to have some lyrics back in the day.
Well, you crazy.
But yeah, so it was just kind of like a creative outlet, and I love to read, and so I said, let me see if I can write something that's a little longer than the short stories that I generally write.
So is it like a how-to book, or is it like
no? It's actually it's an urban romance. It's a novel. It's fiction. What I wanted to do, the main thing that I wanted to accomplish, was to have realistic characters, characters that people can relate to, and not fall into the stereotypical storylines that you see in the urban romance genre. So normally, if you go into Amazon and you go to urban romance, you go into under the urban romance category, you see a lot of, Stacy trying to get out of the hood and dating the drug dealer.
Zane books, man. Hey.
Zane books. I can get into those.
I
can get into the Zane books because the characters are usually the characters usually have some depth to them, and that's what I wanted to do. Have my characters have some depth. I didn't want them to be your regular, you're run of the mill stereotypical characters. So most of the characters in the book are the sort of characters that I went to college with, or people that you would meet in a professional environment. They're mostly all professional. Matter of fact, I think they're pretty much all professional. Yeah.
Wow.
In the book, so it's just a story of a young man, professional young man that has a girlfriend, and then he has a young lady that's been his lifelong friend, and so it's just kind of a struggle in those both relate. Now, I'm not giving the book away, but no, it's just a struggle of him trying to navigate having those two relationships and getting to the point where a choice has to be made, because that you only do that for so long.
I know it. Yeah. So where can they find the book at?
You go to Amazon,
right?
Look up Rod Harley or the title "Love Won't Let Me Wait," and it'll pop right up. It's on Kindle. You can also order it in paperback.
And that's great, great. Yeah. So, like, as far as like when people, if they want to find you online, if they wanted to book you to come speak at another panel or any speaking engagements and things of that nature, where can they find you online?
Okay, on Twitter, I'm at Real Ramley Rod. On Facebook, you can Rod Harley on Facebook. You can email me, drrodharley@gmail, or rodh@rbhandassociates.com.
There's a lot to remember. Right?
Yeah. You can go to the RBH and Associates website, www.rbhandassociates.com, and also you can tune in. Obviously,
4L Radio.
4L
Radio
man.
Show. Everybody be on the lookout for that also, man. 4L Radio.
Friday nights at 10 o'clock. It's on WTMP 1150 here in Tampa.
Right. And then you can use the TuneIn app, right?
Yeah, you can use the TuneIn app. It's myself. It's CJ Salter from Relationship Realtors.
Yeah. What up, CJ?
Yeah, Bridget, the Go Coach, and then the really funny comedian Barry Naylor.
Yeah, definitely, man. Y'all got an all-star lineup, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. So everyone be on the lookout for the 4L Radio Show also. But Dr. Rod, I thank you for coming by, man. I just wanted to kind of touch base with you short and sweet on the relationship issue with the exes, man, because there's a lot of people that always have that issue. And sometimes they're in a relationship, they don't want to leave just because that recovery process can be so painful that they rather just, stay with it and try to make things the best they can make them. And then, even though they feel they deserve more, they just don't want to, start over and, go through that whole recovery process. So I'm glad you came by, kind of shed some light on that. Everybody that's watching, I want y'all to leave a commentary in that box like we always do. Like, comment, share. Also check out Rod Harley, the book Love Won't Let Me Wait, Amazon.com, Kindle, everywhere. Y'all be on the lookout for that as well. And keep sending those questions and comments. I really appreciate those, and those how we continue to make these videos. So everybody continue to do that. We're going to see y'all next week. It's Mail Translations. Clarence Brown, your host, signing out. Rob, got anything you want to say before we Yeah.
No, actually, you know what? Let me just, one more thing that I wanted to say. When you're coming out of a relationship and you're trying to get over your ex, an important thing to do is to take that opportunity to work on yourself. Work on some self-improvement.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
That's something I didn't want to leave out.
Exactly. Remember that also. That's a keynote in there, Jim. We dropped it on you before we go. But thank y'all for checking in and tuning in. Mail Translations, we tuning out. We'll see y'all again next week. Peace.